Oh, hey. I didn't see you there. What's up, gang? Welcome to Room and Board. My name is Chris George, and today we are taking a look at Attack on Titan, the deck building game, which is, spoiler alert, the best cooperative deck builder of all time. You heard it here first. The world as we know it is gone. Humanity has been reduced to living behind 3 walls, and outside those walls, giant, scary titans threaten our very existence. And, led by even scarier archenemy titans, are now attacking our walls and are trying to gobble us up quicker than Aunt Gladys swallows hot dogs at the family cookout. It is up to you to save humanity. Attack on Titan is a deck builder game based off of the critically acclaimed and incredibly amazing anime of the same name that is brutally difficult, immensely satisfying, and the best thematic game I have ever played. Are you hyped? I'm so hyped to talk about it that I couldn't even make a joke. So let's go. At the beginning of the game, players will choose one of 8 characters, each with their own special ability. What I like to do if I'm playing with 4 or less people is have everyone choose 2 randomly, turning one face up and leaving one face down. Kind of like your backup hero that you can inevitably become when a Titan demolishes you on the 4th turn. Like most deck builders, you start out with a pretty terrible deck, filled with courage and not much else. But you can spend your turns building up a better one. However, it's a balancing act, because the more players there are, the more cards that are turned up every round. And these might be helpful items to go inside the wall for you to move to and purchase with your power, or these might be Titans who appear outside the wall and must be dealt with. Because every turn they're not killed, or a hero isn't there to take a wound, which goes into your deck and has a chance of killing you down the line, they deal 1 damage to the wall per Titan. And each wall only has 2 hit points. Let the walls fall, you lose. Have too many heroes die, you lose. Spend too much time dilly-dallying inside the wall building up your deck and have the main deck run out, you guessed it, you lose. The only way to win is to defeat the 4 arch enemy titans who are distributed throughout the deck, but they are tough. Not only do they do 2 points of damage a turn, meaning they can wipe out an entire wall in 1 move, they have a consistent ability that provides wounds or other negative effects to the heroes each round. They also have a bunch of hit points that you need to deal with before you attempt to do the killing blow, which they heal each round. And when you think you have enough power to kill them, they also draw 1 final last gasp Titans on Attack card that can destroy your equipment, murder your allies, or add up to 8 strength to their cost if you're particularly unlucky. Yeah. Did I mention it was a hard game? And this is where a lot of criticism comes from, because this game may not be for you. You're going to lose, and it might feel unfair. You just get swarmed with Titans right from the very beginning before being able to grab that great item that you wanted. If only the Titans would just leave you alone and let you do your thing. But of course, they're Titans, and they don't even give a care what you think. However, as time goes by, you'll start to develop strategy. You'll start to realize what characters synergize with each other, and what cards are only useful in specific circumstances. Because that's part of the learning curve of this game. That ability may seem super useful, but if the other combo cards don't make their way into your deck, it might just end up being dead weight. And for me, discovering these strategies is a large part of the fun. The first few games we played, we didn't even make it past Archenemy Titan number 1. She was way too powerful, and we did not prepare effectively. Even when there aren't Titans turned up and attacking the wall, you can't waste these turns. You have to start preparing for this onslaught that's about to come. And when you realize how to do this effectively with the cards that are presented to you, it feels great. It feels like an accomplishment. And then you start to become better fighters. And soon you're slashing through every Titan that comes up and scooping up an item on the way. But there are a lot of people who have criticized that you can just get unlucky with the deck makeup and only get Titans right from the beginning, and no good items, and you're just screwed from the start. And to those people I say, no, you're just not very good yet. And that's the point. I've purposefully never counted the number of Titans in the deck because I don't want to be able to math it out near the end. I think it's more thematic that you could be surprised at any moment and more Titans could appear. And I really enjoy that surprise. But the probability that the top of your deck is going to be front-loaded with the majority of Titans is incredibly improbable. It may feel like you're getting a lot, but that's just because the game is hard. And it's always going to feel like that, especially at higher player counts. I think this plays really well at all player counts, but it's definitely easiest at 2 because you're drawing less cards and therefore going through the deck, which gives you a better chance at teching up your own personal deck. But luckily, the game provides ways to scale the difficulty levels if you want it easier or harder. You can have less characters being able to die before you lose. You can give the walls only 1 hit point, which is outrageously difficult because there are some little guys who pop out and just remove a token from the wall, and it's very hard to stop. But my personal difficulty scaling favorite is you can draw 1 more card or 1 less if you want to make it easier, and that really puts the pressure on a 2-player game, as if you needed more pressure. Keep in mind, I've played this many times. You're only going to want to do this after a significant number of plays. But it is awesome that they give you this direction in the rulebook. So depending with who I'm playing with or how I feel, sometimes I'll alternate between flipping 2 cards up, then 3, then 2, then 3, and give myself sort of a moderate difficulty increase. And then maybe I can have a chance at surviving. The other part of the game that, for me, makes it stand out amongst all the other Cryptozoic deck builders is the fact that you have 2 resources to juggle: power and movement. Power is standard. It lets you gain new cards into your deck, which you desperately need. But movement allows you to quickly move around the board and deal with any Titan no matter where it pops up. The game board, divided by walls, is divided up into 10 spaces. 5 inside the wall, where all the items will pop up, and 5 outside the walls, where the Titans pop up. But unlike other deck builders, you can't just purchase cards from a common market or defeat enemies anytime you want. You have to make your way to that space to do so. And so it becomes this balancing act. You need just enough movement in your deck to be able to respond to threats as they appear, but you also need power to deal damage and the final killing blow to those archenemy Titans. And some people may not like this balancing act, or it may frustrate them. It's because of this game that I consistently seek out deck builders with a board. Sometimes you'll draw a hand that's got so much power in it you could defeat an archenemy Titan on the spot, but you're 1 movement point shy of getting to its space. And yeah, that's because you didn't map out your deck correctly. And next time, maybe you'll learn that lugging around 2 cannons, a bunch of swords, and a bunch of old military leaders means you can't get from place A to place B as quickly as you used to. And hopefully your other teammates planned for this and have the cards that can get you that extra movement and allow you to deliver that final killing blow. This allows for Attack on Titan to be a truly cooperative experience. And if you don't communicate, you will die. If you run rashly ahead without consulting the group first, you're going to make a mistake that costs you that wall and thousands of human lives. And you're going to have to live with that. But if you plan carefully from round to round, deciding the optimal turn order that can set you up for success, communicating your next hand's possibilities to the players that haven't yet taken their turn this round, because at the end of your turn you draw back up to 5. So if you go first one round, you'll know what you have coming up in your next round already. You might just have a chance at surviving. I keep saying that it's brutally difficult, especially when you start, but I wouldn't have it any other way, because thematically, this is a brutal show. I'm a big fan of the show. I rank Attack on Titan probably in my top 10 TV shows of all time, anime or not. I always pitch it to people, it's like The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones, in which no character is safe from the dangers of the world. If you get to the end of episode 5 and you're not hooked, then maybe it's not a show for you. But it's got some incredibly exciting storytelling. That being said, you don't need to be a fan of the anime to enjoy the game. But it absolutely doesn't hurt. And being so familiar with the anime, this is such a faithful adaptation that I frequently refer to it as the most thematic game I have ever played. Every single card has some sort of thematic tie-in that makes sense with the show. That makes sense if you know the characters. My best example of this is Kit's Warman, who's this minor, very minor character. He's this coward general who basically pushes people out of his way or sends them off to certain death just so that he's got a better chance of escaping. But his ability in the game allows you to draw a card and then discard any number of cards you want for 1 movement per card, which I just think is brilliant. You're literally tossing people aside so that you can run away more effectively. And almost every card has that level of thought into it and provides an exciting and rich deck building experience, but ones that fans of the show will particularly love. Find me a game that's more thematic than this and, well, I will tell you that this one is more thematic than that. I mean, I wish I could think of more negatives to point out other than the difficulty and the potential randomness, but I can't. Probably the biggest negative are these dinky little hit point counters that they provide, or wound tokens, so you can chip away at someone's hit points. They suck. They're not even double-sided. They're so ineffective and annoying to deal with. But I saw designs online for someone who made their own little dial counters, and if those were provided with the game, it would just be the best thing ever. Otherwise, components are fine. It's a pretty decent price point anyway, so it's just cards and cardboard standees, and they do the trick. Even the potential randomness I don't think is a huge issue because it means you'll have a different puzzle every time. And sure, some deck setups will be harder than others, but that's just the nature of the game. You can also combine this with other Cryptozoic deck builders, which I never would do. There's no reason to do that. Combining it with something like the DC deck building game would just feel gimmicky and not as fun of a system. Another negative is that it is pretty long. I've never played it in 60 minutes, rarely played it in 90, but I like that sort of stuff. Because for me, the bottom line is this: Attack on Titan is an exceptional addition to the deck building genre and is the best cooperative deck building game I've ever played, the most thematic game I've ever played, and captures the essence of the source material with dynamic mechanics that any board game masochist will love. You know, I want this game to get the love that I know that it deserves. I've had some of the most intense gaming sessions that I've ever had, and it would be criminal not to give it a rating fitting of that intensity. You're going straight to the top, baby! Attack on Titan, the deck building game, best of the year. Best of 2021. I don't care that it came out only in 2016. I only have 2 golden buzzers left for 2021, but there's no way I couldn't give it to it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check it out if it seems interesting to you. Thank you so much for watching. Smash that like and subscribe button. Can't press that again. Who knows what will happen. But it does really help me out a lot, and it will help me get more and more reviews and board game content out to you. Seriously, it makes a big difference. You won't even notice, and how can you not with such pump up music? Anyway, my name is Chris George. I don't have a catchphrase, so go watch an episode of Attack on Titan, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!